Welly, welly, well. Look who it is. It's Paul's ego again. What it do? What it do, and what it do, and what it do, and what it be, and what it is. I'm a Parkey. Good for you, buddy. I'm a KEY Parkey, not an IE Parkey. Hey, friend. I ain't your friend. I ain't your friend. But I appreciate the sentiment. I get it. At least you're honest. Yeah, sure. You won't hear that from other content creators. That is true. So what if I get a job? You gonna pat me on the head? Yeah, sure. Why not? Boop, boop, boop. Good job, son. Are you winning? Repping the yeah. This is the old school dinosaur. This is I bought this T-shirt in 2015. Okay, this is the OG. This is the O motherfucking G. Did not watch the Oscars. Don't really care to. Not an Oscars guy anymore. Doja Cat says she doesn't love her fans and the entire internet is hating on her for it. Yeah, I mean, the like parasociality is off the charts these days. Like people need like the people that they watch to like lie to them and tell them like I care about you individually. It's like, okay, I care about you. I don't want something bad to happen to you, but am I involved in your life in any way other than that? No. I'm not trying to be mean when I tell people that. I'm just being honest. I don't like running around saying I love you to my fans and calling them my friends and shit when it's just not true. Right. I mean, that's I think most people have that perspective, Midnight Ghoul, but some people don't. Some people just kind of have a little disconnect when it comes to that, and I don't know how to help them other than to just be honest about it. Yeah. Hey, friend is like a greeting sometimes too. I'll say that to people. I get that. So what's up today? What's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? I'm feeling okay. I got some good sleep. I needed it last night. I needed a good 3 cycles, and I got them. So that's nice. Feeling okay this morning. Had my protein shake, so I'm good and taken care of nutritionally for a while till lunchtime. How long is a cycle? An hour and a half, so it's like 90 minutes about of sleep. Oh, my grandpa died yesterday. My dog just had to be put down, so not good. Your life is a country song, my friend. You feel a general affection to your fans, a collective, but not individuals. Well, I mean, some individuals I know. Like I distinguish, and there are people that I know in real life that are in here. Like Pranav is a good example of that. He and I have been friends for over 10 years now. So, Jason. I'm Paul's favorite. Yes, Nikki. Yes. What's the best protein shake recipe? I don't know. I just started doing them. I got these like fruit packets with acai berries. They're like little freezer packets of chopped up veggies and stuff. It's got kale in there, and I think I can't remember what else. Kale, acai berries, strawberries, blueberries, that sort of thing, and you throw that in with your protein powder and some milk and some ice. That's what I've been doing. I think we're gonna try like just bananas and maybe like a scoop of peanut butter. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I really like them. I've been having one every day pretty much for a couple weeks now, and they feel pretty good. I'm not a matcha fan though, so I would never put matcha in my shit. I just don't like it. But I get you. Yeah, somebody else might dig some matcha for sure. Do you still eat snacks at all? Yes. Yeah, I do. I have cheese sticks. It's like mozzarella or cheddar cheese sticks. And I keep Granny Smith apples around. That's my favorite snack, is like grab an apple, grab a cheese stick. Munch the apple, munch the cheese stick. Pretty good, you know. Another one that I do that is probably not as good for me, but it's still a good snack. A lot of fiber and good stuff in it. Is I get granola, non-fat Greek yogurt, cut up a banana in it. You know, stir that around and eat that like a little parfait or something. Yeah, I'm staying consistent with the CPAP. I'm getting better at it. Like I have this like impulse. Sometimes I'll wake up in the night and it's like bothering me and I just want to rip it off and roll over, and I've done that before. Last night I took it off, made myself get up, went to the bathroom, walked around a little bit, went and laid back down, put it right back on, and slept another like 3 hours, which was really good. So I got about 5.5 hours of sleep last night, which if you look at like the type of sleep that somebody my age needs, that's about it. Like 5.5 to 6 hours of sleep is about what somebody in their 40s needs. So that's, you know, right about where I want to be. So yeah, I've been doing good though. There's a fusion explosion behind you. Yeah, I know. A giant fusion reactor in the sky. How's TJ's diet? I really don't know. Yeah, we're not like diet buddies or something. I think like we're actually like doing very different things. Like TJ's like calorie counting and all of that, and I'm not. Like I'm just trying to eat healthier. Like for me, calorie counting doesn't work, and you know, constant weighing myself doesn't work. I'm not really using my weight as a metric. I'm using my physical health and like how I feel. And I feel better the longer I do it. Like this shirt, I haven't worn this shirt probably in like 3 years because it just didn't fit me. Like it's a 2X that I got back in 2015. And now it fits me, you know what I mean? Like I've lost circumference around my arms and waist and chest. So I can feel that my shit is shrinking, so that's a good thing, right? I'm on the right track. That's I'm not gonna obsess about the numbers. I know this sounds simple too, but I've been trying to learn to take cues from my body. As a fat person, stopping eating when your body goes, I'm full, is sometimes kind of like you don't know how to do it. Like my whole life, I've basically like sat down to a big meal to gorge myself. You know, about halfway through, my body's full, but I'm just like, I'm packing the rest of this in. Hum, hum, hum. I just don't do that anymore. Like, if I have a plate of food in front of me and I eat half of it and my stomach goes, and my body, you know, my brain goes like, yeah, you don't really need another bite of that, then I do it. You know, I'm like, okay, push that shit away and I'm done with it. So, you know. No, I'm just trying to feel better. That's all. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm really shooting for, is more of a lifestyle change. You're sounding healthful and your attitude is increasingly one of celebration. Goat versus fish supports your changes. Hey, in true fish fashion, I just keep swimming. Goat versus fish. You know me. I'm a fish to the bone. All right? If I stop swimming, my gills stop working and I fucking go belly up. And I ain't doing that. I'm swimming, baby. You're the goat. I know. I am the goat. I'm a fish, but I'm the goat. Yes. I totally agree. You are correct. Let me see. That's over. Is that better? A little bit. Yeah. Oh, ooh. Psh. I can like hit you guys with the cop light whenever I want. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Can you step over here? Pardon me, sir. Can you keep your hands where I can see them, please? Thank you. Do cops do that to disorient you? Yes, they do that to obstruct your vision of them, so that if you pull a gun, you don't really know where to shoot. Local woman discovers agriculture and her life is happy now. Hey, that's a good. How do I become a free man of the North? Bide your time. The time of the great pilgrimage draws nigh. Keep your ear to the ground and listen for the rumors, for the wind speaks a name, Arrakis. The new Crow looks like a SoundCloud rapper. I haven't seen him. They also do it because it adds an air of confusion and disconnection to a perp's face and body cam footage, right? Yeah. I mean, they're just pieces of shit. Looks like the DCEU Joker. Oops. That's no good. That's a no good. Too many repeats for me, yeah. Yeah, if you try twice and I don't pick it up, move on. My Spectres don't play. Okay, they're out there with the guns cocked and loaded and ready to fucking fire. All right. This is not a fuck around stream. I just bought the Spyro remaster game. I never got into Spyro. I was a little old when it came out for kiddie game, but yeah, have fun with that. Brandon Lee is greater than Bill Skarsgård. Okay. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I guess we'll see. Ran out of weed yesterday, too broke to buy more. Damn, dog, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that. May you be flush again soon. I recommend seeing Lisa Frankenstein, dope movie about a girl getting revenge on her bullies. Okay. I won't remember that, but okay. Dude, Sometimes I really wish I was a mod on the DFF chat, but I know you got to be far more even-handed over there, man. Is there some dumb fuckery in those chat? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, you know, sometimes people like Johnny is a dude that was really like distinguished in my community first, and then kind of distinguished himself to TJ, and now he's one of TJ's mods as well, and he's a mod on the channel. It's like that doesn't always happen, you know what I mean? My specters, I play you guys close to my chest. You guys are my ace in the hole, you know. I don't necessarily want you out there policing everything. Stop with the SIGs questions, dude. It's just not even a, like, what is interesting if I answer that question? And it comes up every fucking stream at least twice. I'll just like note somebody going like, what brand of cig do you smoke? Is it just you want me to smoke the same brand as you? Is that what it is? Or what? Just say it. Just ask, you know. I don't know. It's just very much like an annoying question. Because it literally leads nowhere interesting. Why do you feel the need to constantly talk over Kyle Kalinske on the show? Do you really think anyone cares to hear your cringe spirituality talk? Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I do. About 4,000 people pay me a monthly fee to hear me talk about my shit. So yeah, I do actually think so. Why do I feel the need to talk over Kyle? I don't think I did all that much. But thanks for your input. Paul the philosopher, indeed. Did call Kyle out on Dickie McGee's acts. You didn't watch the show. Paul, why do you feel the need to do the job you're paid to do? I don't know, man. It's just a crazy fucking work ethic I've got, I guess. Yeah, from what I could see, like, reaction to that show was almost uniformly positive. People loved Kyle, loved the conversation. I did a great story time with Paul, you know, back in rare form on that. I thought it was a good fucking show, man. I thought I contributed. I thought I did pretty good. These chats are a lot more tame than what I remember. I mean, we still get heated and shit, but I'm not as like people are slowly starting to like come around to this idea that like I'm still a salty guy. I still get angry. I still get wound up about stuff, but like a lot of that really acerbic edge that I had the last 3 years was just because I was fucking miserable. I felt like ass. I was exhausted and didn't know why. I was sick, and tired, and fucking eating horrible, and my body was all fucked up, and my mind was all fucked up. And it's like, when you're not in your best place, you're not going to be at your best, you know? And so I don't think anything really positive comes of blowing up like that, really. Well, Kyle knew the environment he was coming into. He didn't expect simpering attention to every word. It was a good back and forth. I agree. I mean, he's had me on his show, and we've had a conversation before. He's been on DP a number of times. I think 4 different times. Not on DP. Or yeah, on DP. Yeah. So like 4 different times he was on our old show with us. Yeah, Kyle knows what's what. If he didn't like the environment, he wouldn't come into it, you know? If you met God on psychedelics or had an experience of I am God and reality is God, what legitimacy would you give to that? None. I've had experiences like that on psychedelics, not necessarily hearing a voice or having a presence appear to me, but like getting that feeling that there's some sort of presence behind the reality of things or whatever. It doesn't mean that it's true. Like, I don't think that the things that happen to me when I'm tripping are real. They're constructs of my imagination, limbered as it is by psychedelics. Still think Kyle is way too soft on Joe Rogan. On the off chance Joe says something based, Kyle makes a video praising him for it, but ignores. Yeah, I mean, like, look, Kyle's a business person, right? And Joe Rogan, he's been on Joe Rogan a number of times. It's like an outlet for him, and it probably like accelerates his reach when he does it. And he's playing, you know, a little bit of politics with it. He's being careful. I think he criticized Joe enough when we brought him up on the show. You know, we didn't stay on it for like an hour, but I think he definitely expressed kind of like a nonplussed attitude as to why Joe is turning into this like kind of stupid right wing head bobble guy. But yeah, I mean, he probably wants to go back on Joe's show and doesn't want a bunch of shit talk out there. I don't blame him for that. I mean, I think TJ's probably in the same boat, although TJ might not think that he's got much of a chance of getting on Joe again, but I don't necessarily think that's true, you know? I think from the way Kyle talks about him, it's more that Kyle considers Joe a friend and Kyle doesn't want to let go of those connections. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I get you. I'm with that. I kind of get that same feeling. Yeah, I mean, he still criticizes this shit as far as I've seen. I'm not like a, I don't watch every single thing that comes off that channel, but he is the only like news dude that I watch with any regularity. I wasn't just buttering him up when I said that on the podcast. Like, I don't watch, I used to watch like Sam Cedar and David Pakman and stuff. I don't even click on their shit anymore. I can't even watch it. Vosh vindication syndrome. How was I vindicated though? Like, really? I was never calling for Vosh to be pseudo canceled over some fucking puritanical bullshit. As far as I know, dude is still out there fucking doing his thing or whatever. I stopped checking up on the Voshiverse after his last. I got my last dose of Vosh that I think I need on that one. So maybe it did help my VDS a little bit, you know. Vosh is still losing subs. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rough over there. I'm not really aware of what's going on his channel, but I know that like some adjacent channels to his, like some of the people in his like orbit, I guess, are having a rough time. I don't know if you're familiar with Keffels. I'm only familiar with Keffels through Destiny's coverage of her. I'm like a Destiny dude every once in a while. But she's like a Vosh orbiter chick, trans lady that stepped up in Vosh's defense and then got dogpiled, and Vosh basically like hung her out to dry, as far as I'm aware. Like, he let her step up and take a bunch of the heat, and then just kind of like didn't ever mention anything about it, and went into like a fortress kind of mode where he's not allowing any criticism in his community and shit, and then just like left her with the bag. People stopped trying to go after him because he wasn't giving attention and started going after her. She took so much heat. Yeah, but like, I saw her video. She uploaded a video and then like hastily deleted it, and I was like, oh, I gotta see what that was. And so, like, I did my little internet sleuthery, and of course, somebody saved it immediately and re-uploaded it a million times. So I found it, and it was basically like her. The problem that I had with it was her pretending like she had to jump in for Vosh, like she was forced or something. And I was like, miss me with that shit. You jumped face first into the drama, and you don't like what you got. Just say it, you know. But yeah, as far as like the shit on his channel and like stuff directly with him, I got no fucking clue what he's been up to. She died on Lolly Hill, yeah. Didn't Kevel scam her audience out of 100K? Yes, she did. She like had a GoFundMe ostensibly because she was facing hate in Canada as a trans woman and she didn't feel safe. And so she moved to Ireland and asked her audience to finance her whole life over there, and they splashed way the fuck out and gave her like 150 grand or some shit. And then she basically like tacitly admitted that she blew most of that on drugs and partying and shit. She also role played with a minor. I don't know anything about that. Yeah, I mean, her community, like, because she got really big, because she was like, she was swatted, I think, and the cops came in and dead named her and all that shit. She like got a lot of like mobility in the trans and broader leftist sphere for being like a persecuted trans woman who, you know, Kiwi Farms and all these haters and stuff were just like, you know, trying to kill her and all that. And that got her like a lot of sympathy and fame. And she cashed in on it immediately by like saying, give me money so I can live. And people did it, and she spent it on benzos and shit. Just like, oh. Well, she didn't take Kiwi Farms down because Kiwi Farms is still up. So she helped get them dropped from Cloudflare temporarily. That's not getting the site taken down. Apparently, if I recall correctly, she lied about a lot of the swatting stuff too. Yes. Yeah, the story was like all too shifting. She told it a number of different ways, and like spatially it didn't make sense. But you know, I don't know. She got swatted. Like, I can understand in that type of a moment, your memory isn't exactly recording things with its 100% most efficient power or whatever, and I get it. I'm not really denying that somebody swatted her. It's a pretty common thing to happen to big streamers, but it was her reaction to it, her acting like she wasn't safe in Canada anymore because this happened to her, and she had to run to Europe, and then she was supposed to be like keeping it a secret, but she was getting tagged with all her friends all over Ireland. So like the whole I'm staying in an undisclosed location because I fear for my life thing was just not credible. So OD. OD, OD. Kevels was or is affiliated with Destiny. I mean, everybody in that sphere kind of is. I don't think she came out of his community, but maybe I'm wrong. But I know she had like a bunch of drama with him and shit. I don't know. Like I said, I only know the tertiary shit. I'm not up to date on the drama, so I don't follow it super closely, but you know, it comes across my feed and I check it out sometimes. feel like the streaming thing is an unsustainable bubble about to burst, especially with streamers that get big early. I mean, a big part of that bubble is going to burst if they go through with this TikTok ban, right? A lot of people that do these live streams and stuff have been live streaming on TikTok almost exclusively for a long fucking time. So that's going to kill a lot of careers right there because these people, like, it's like Pimp Monk, right? Pimp Monk, like, actually fucking got himself a following over there on TikTok. It's like he's King Beards over there or something like that. He does little fucking shorts, little like country shorts, and he's goofy looking, and it works for him over there. He's got like over 1 million followers, and he's about to lose that livelihood, dude. That check is about to stop for him and everybody else. And I don't think Pimp Monk's going to have anywhere near the success hopping back on YouTube. Yeah, I'm actually like knowing that, and it sucks, and I wouldn't, want to see Pimp Monk hurt, but like I'm all for the TikTok ban. You know what changed my mind on the TikTok thing? I was talking in the Discord about this the other night. Was I talked to a person from China who explained to me that like TikTok is a totally different app there. Like it is super heavily policed, like nonsense and psychological manipulation stuff and these like skibbity toilet drivel shit. They don't allow that over there. It's curated. Like it has to. It's more like Pinterest in China, where like they expect you to have some value to what you're posting. Because if you're just a shit poster, you're gone. But they unleash it on the United States, and it's just the Wild West. You know. So I'm all for banning TikTok. I don't think it's doing any favors to children. I don't think it's doing any favors to the adults that have adopted it as a platform. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's like Pinterest in China. Or it's like deep dives on this, or blurbs about science or history or whatever the fuck. It's like a curated content place where they expect you to be a human and not like a total bot that's just farming views and putting up pictures of girls' booties and titillating people with it and shit. That just isn't allowed in China. TikTok CEO said the parent company would not sell even if the bill goes through, right? Which means that TikTok will be banned. That's what it's looking like is going to happen. That moderated social media environment comes at a price. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Like, because I don't put intrinsic value on single social media platforms. I think that TikTok would be better off. It would be a better resource for people if it wasn't just a total fucking algorithmic nightmare. Fuck regulating it. Just ban it. Just get it out of here. There's a million things for kids to be doing other than TikTok. Let them find that. Like TikTok is just horrible. Dude, I know I talk about it quite a bit, but like, I've had some run-ins recently in public with these skibbities. You know what I'm talking about? Skibbity heads. These little kids that are just like, their language is like 5 words. It's skibbity, phantom tax, gyat, Rizzler. Like I've had run-ins with these kids. They have broccoli tops, yeah, and younger. And it's not good, man. I'm not saying that I was like some kind of little genius running around at 10, 11, 12, 13. I definitely wasn't. I was probably annoying and had my own little thing, but like you could understand what I was saying. It's like I had broad interests at that age. These skibbity kids, man, it's like, what? There's just a disconnect. They don't read. They're media illiterate, if not functionally just illiterate in general. They're media illiterate. You can't talk to them about anything that isn't on TikTok or Twitch. It's like they've learned how to speak from Kai Cenat and Aiden Ross and fucking Andrew Tate. Everything is the Sigma. Everything is the Rizzler. You know, it's just like we had memes when I was that little, but it wasn't. We didn't like create this like monosyllabic language where the only thing we ever talked about and the only way we ever interacted was like, you know, skibbity toilet. I will never forget, dude, that video of that kid getting a shot. His mom's holding him, and he's like probably 7 or 6, probably 7. Mom's holding him in her lap, and the doctor's putting the needle in his arm, and he's trying to get away. And in order to like deal with it, he starts singing the Skibbity song while he's crying. He's like, oh, Skibbity, Skibbity, Dibbity, Skibbity, Bob, 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 yes, yes. And it's just like, this kid's brain is gone. It's owned. Like when the second that he can't retreat to TikTok and skibbity away the reality, he has a breakdown. It was the same thing when I went to get this haircut. I was sitting there waiting to get my haircut, and you know, I had about a 25-minute wait or something, and this dude was in there with his little girl who was like a toddler, and his boy who was about that same age, 7 or 8, and his boy was sitting there with his phone laying face down on the bench, so taking up almost the entire bench, had the phone in front of him, and he's watching some Pixar thing, and it's at max volume. And the dad said to him like 8 times, like, Anthony, you need to turn that down and put in your earbuds. And the kid would not even look up. It was like he didn't even hear that his dad was getting a haircut, so he couldn't go over there and do anything about it. Meanwhile, his little daughter is running around with snot running down to her chin in a onesie with a filthy doll, like a filthy rag of a fucking stuffy. And she's like walking up to me with her nose all dribbling, like, and I'm like, hey. And then she just like turn around and kid sitting there skibbity toileting as loud as he can. And so dad gets his haircut, right? Haircut finishes up. And he goes over to the kid and finally grabs the phone out of his hand and turns it down so that, you know, everybody in the place that's waiting isn't having to listen to whatever the fuck that was, some Pixar shit at max fucking volume coming out of this smartphone. He turns it down, and the kid immediately starts whining. He's like, I want a haircut. And his dad was like, we don't have time today. I've got you scheduled tomorrow. We're taking you to that place you like to get a haircut. I want a haircut now. And his dad was like, you're not getting a haircut now. And he's trying to go through his wallet and like pay for his own haircut while he's having this argument. And finally I watched him. It was like he wilted. And he just handed the phone back to the kid. And the kid flipped it open, immediately turned back on the Pixar thing, cranked the volume all the way up, and they walked out. That was the only way that he could get the kid to. And I was like, oh my God. Why is he bringing his kids for his own haircut? Probably because he can't afford fucking health, like childcare for the day. He's a single parent is what I took from it. Or his wife was working and it was his day off and he had to get it done and he had the kids. Like, what are you going to do? Oh my God, I felt for that guy. I felt for that guy, but I felt for those kids more because that fucking, especially that little boy. Oh my God, he's gone. He's gone. His whole life is here. Skibbity bop bop bop, yes yes. Skibbity dibbity dibbity, skibbity wibbity wibbity. Phantom tax, phantom tax, phantom tax, phantom tax. It's like, oh my God, bro. Yeah, no, for sure. Sticking out my gat for the Rizzler. You're so skibbity. You're so phantom tax. Sticking out my gat for the Rizzler in Ohio. You're so phantom tax. And like, I follow a subreddit for teachers, and if you go there right now, I can almost guarantee you it'll be the top thing. It's like a rotating thread there, where teachers are like, "How do you talk to kids now?" And then the body of it'll be like, "I don't know what happened, but in the last like 3 years, I feel like I've lost the ability to communicate with my class." I can't remember the name of it, dude. Honestly, I think it might be just like our teachers. I don't think it is. I'll have to look. Like, ask me next show and I'll be able to tell you. I'll look and see what it is. I don't remember. But, like, yeah, dude, it's just filled with, like, teachers like, what is a phantom tax? And then other teachers are like, it's some streamer they watch. And she's like, it's all they say. It's all they'll say. What do I say to that? And they're like, there's nothing you can't. It's meaningless. It's skibbity toilet. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a word that they repeat that lets them know that they watch the same things that the other kid watches. Yeah, just shut it down, dude. You can't ignore them, though, as a teacher. As a teacher, you're trying to connect with these kids. So you want to know what's going on in their little inner lives. And it used to be like when I was a kid, all a teacher had to do was watch some Saturday morning cartoons. Get up on a Saturday and watch 3 hours of cartoon. You'll know what we're talking about. You'll know what a Ninja Turtle is. You'll know why we yell cowabunga before we jump off the swing. You know, it wasn't tough. But it's like now they don't even know where to look. I don't remember that, Cam. If you do, I'd love to see it. Because everything that I've seen is the opposite of that. Yeah, definitely our teachers. One glance there and it's all full. Yeah, that must be what it is. Yeah, I check it pretty regularly just to get an idea of like, because it's interesting to me, you know? Like, I wonder how much of it is me just being boomerish. And so I look for these people that are working directly because I'm not around kids all day, but it's like every run in I have with one, it seems like this issue pops up, you know, where the kid is just absolutely off in fucking la la land. Adult TikTokers is really bad, yeah. Hey, teacher, leave them skibbities alone. We don't need no education. It's like, yeah, you do, kid. Yeah, you do. I feel like it's a rite of passage to complain about kids after a certain age. Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, right? But it just seems like I'm I'm not being challenged on it. You know, like what I observe in my, which is anecdotal, and then what I read, which is also anecdotal and circumstantial, from people that are working with kids, is that you can't talk to them anymore, and you can't keep their attention for more than 5 seconds. How different is this from Juvenoia? I mean, I'm not trying to be that though. I'm willing to hear that the kids are all right. Like, I'm willing to hear that. I really am, but it's worrying. Like, you know, the results are in. So my parents were all their boomer thing was TV will rot your brains, kid. And turns out they were kind of right. Kids from my generation, the long-term studies are in, and the ones that were raised by the TV, whose parents didn't make them go outside, have higher instances of almost every kind of fucking non-congenital mental health problem that there is. Higher instances of ASD, higher instances of social problems, higher instances of anger problems, higher instances of depression and anxiety, and social anxiety. The numbers are in, the studies are in, it ain't good. You take those kids from my generation that were just plopped in front of a TV all day, you times that by 10. That's what I expect to see when the studies come in on Gen Z and Gen Alpha and the late millennials. I'm trying to eclipse the sun for you, but I'm just in a spot where it wants to be right over my shoulder, okay? I'm doing my best. It's just one of those things, man. It's like, I'm not trying to be juvenophobic or whatever, but knowing what happened to my generation just from too much exposure to television as a medium and knowing how more exploitative and manipulative algorithmically like online content is, and to know that kids are just plopped in front of that all day, like how could you speculate that the numbers are going to come back and be good about that? Especially looking at the numbers on, like I said, my generation and TV, right? Like the shit that was around that my generation spent too much time with was like a proto version of this. They hadn't learned yet how to tweak. They didn't even really have an algorithm for it. It was just like best practices. It's like gambling and the way it works on the brain. Yeah. It's like a it's they call it dopamine looping. So it's a dopamine and what do they call that other emotion, that other hormone or chemical? Dopamine and when you get like endorphins. So they get the brain addicted to this short form content. Serotonin, yeah. I guess serotonin probably as well. But I was thinking of like the endorphin rush and the dopamine hit that you get when, you know, you see this compact content that speaks to you and then just is over. And then you move on to the next, move on to the next. And it's just like an endless little thing. It trains your brain to have like a drip of dopamine when it's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be a chemical that rewards you for doing something. Like that's why dopamine exists in the human brain, to make us do a task and then look at it and see it finished and go like, ah, and we get this little hit in our brain like, I did it.
And being denied that dopamine makes you stay on the platform longer. Like if you get clickbaited and you're unsatisfied, you want to watch something
Right.
else to get that
And they know
satisfaction.
that. They know that they're dealing with a thinner and thinner tolerance for fucking dopamine, and they have to give, so they want your kid on there all day getting little tiny dopamine hits, and that's the only way that they can feel that, because their brain is just trashed.
Like
Who's
think of how many people just can't sit and do nothing, like in a waiting room or something.
Yeah, I mean, even I can't anymore. Like if I'm sitting and waiting in a fucking waiting room, I got my phone out and I'm like doing my thing on it. The rise of rage bait content. I mean, that's always been a thing. Rage bait has always been a thing. That's not new. On top of the mental aspect, their body is also going down the sugar and salt spiral. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know as much about nutrition, so I really don't talk about it as much. They're probably not eating it much worse than I was as a kid. I ate a lot of processed foods and a lot of boxed, frozen shit, you know, when I was a kid. So I imagine they're probably the same. I don't really know enough, like I said, about nutrition to really talk about that with any kind of authority.
I mean, my layman's opinion is it's more about our mental state as a society that people are getting fat rather than nutrition.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think it's just, yeah, the wide availability of this hyper processed, hyper addictive, salty, fatty food has changed people's priorities and like made people center eating in a way that human beings maybe never really did. I mean, eating has always been the core of us. It's what drives us, right? The ultimate thing. It's like we have to eat or we die. But now we're like we've lost that connection of it being like a survival instinct, and now it's just like how much cheese can I put on this? And look at like the TikTok content where the obscene cheese pull where they put a whole block of cheddar cheese on top of it and melt it, and they're like what do you think people go do after they watch an afternoon of that? Eat broccoli? you know they
Well,
go.
I can just see it in you. Like as you've felt better, you're not eating a bunch of crap and you're not ordering a bunch of crap.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
Like that was an energy thing. My body
Yeah.
was like bing, it was on E going like put something in us, sugar, fat,
And you felt
carbs.
so awful. You're like, well, I'll get a little bit of dopamine from this.
Yeah. Refined sugar is a literal drug. You get cravings and withdrawals from it. Yeah. I mean, like kids are just like pumped full of it. They were in my generation too. Well, my generation was the most obese generation in American history until the next generation came along. Yeah, how many patties can we put on this fucking heart stopper burger? How many fucking where else can we put cheese? I saw one the other day where somebody made a burger. It was like 4 smash burger patties, each with 2 pieces of cheese melted in between them. So it's just a big meat cheese ball. And then they took Mexican cheese and spread it on the grill and made a bun with it. They crisped up the cheese and folded it over and made sandwich bread with the cheese. And I was like as a fat guy, come on, man. There's a line, right? You're not at the fair. Every day is not the fair.
I've seen a grilled cheese made out of grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Like someone making a giant grilled cheese and then compressing it and then making slices.
Yeah. Yeah, a grilled cheese, bunned grilled cheese. I mean, a fucking burger with grilled cheeses for buns, a burger with donuts for buns. Every day is a state fair in America. See, yeah, I think you're kind of right now. Maybe I just didn't realize it, but yeah, it seems that way, right? So this is why I get panic attacks smoking weed now. I think too much of all this shit. Maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, smoking weed helps me process this shit. It lets me, like, get it out of me.
But you definitely had times in your life where it was doing the opposite.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's a mindset thing. Like, when your body's real unhealthy and shit, you can't just dump weed on it and expect to feel good. Everything makes you feel bad. Like, I used to get sick and nauseous and feel awful for hours after I would eat. So I started to like fear eating almost, because I would sit down and have a big old McDonald's and like gorge myself on it. And then I just felt like shit for hours, hours and hours afterwards. And so it got to the point where I just like started to associate eating with feeling sick. And so I would wait longer and longer in between doing it so that when I did eat, I was ravenous. And now, I mean, Amelia will back me up on this. If I get full, I stop eating. If I got a plate of food in front of me and I eat 3/4 of it and that last quarter just doesn't need to go down, it don't.
Like we had a very reasonable amount of lasagna.
Yeah, we had a
last night.
square of lasagna last night, and I didn't even eat the whole thing. I got to the last couple of bites, and I just didn't want them, and so they didn't get ate. I work really hard on not pushing myself past that fucking feeling. That like message or whatever that your stomach and brain exchange, where it's like, okay, we're full up down here. All right, I'll stop eating. Like I just do it now. And I hope I can stick to that, you know, because it seems to work really well for me. I'm not hungry all day. I'm not like sitting and I haven't eaten meat in what, like probably 2 months
Yeah.
ish, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. Haven't had any meat. I'm not sitting around all day like, oh, I want a burger. I don't really think about it. So you're losing weight on your new diet? Yeah. Like I said earlier, this shirt, I haven't worn this shirt in forever because it was too small on me. Like the circumference of my waist and arms, where I gain a lot of weight in my arms. I've got lunch lady arms. Like that shit is just like clearly happening. So it's good, right? Where is Dinor? Come here.
They requested you presents. They requested you presents. You can come all the way up. Yes. They requested you. They want a dinosaur. Oh, nice. Nice belch. All right, go on.
Mama instead. Mom's lap's a little bigger in this chair. He doesn't have to get rocked around.
Yeah.
That's the real reason he doesn't like your chair.
Yeah, because it rocks. How old is Dinor now? Dinor is 8. 8 years old. Do you ever call him Diney? No. Call him D. Dirty D, Dusty D. Dirty D. Dirty D from the salty sea. What aspects of your personality do you think Dinor took from you? My neuroticisms. Dinor's he's inconsolable sometimes. He doesn't know what he wants, and he gets all fucking worked up about it, and I'm the same way.
He's very needy.
He gets very needy.
Very lazy.
Very lazy. I'm the same way. I think there's some truth into that, you know, like that pets pick up on people's social cues and shit.
Well, especially since you got him as a puppy.
Yeah. Got him as a widowest baby.
Dad thought you were going to be a bread loaf.
Yep. I thought he was going to be tiny. But he's a big old tater. Twice the size I thought he was going to be, at least. He's looking at me like, not my fault, Dad. I know. It's not your fault.
I mean, you gotta worry about those itty bitty dogs more.
Yeah.
Like a purse-sized dog, you gotta be so fucking careful with them.
Yep. It's like having a little rat around. You can
Yeah.
step on them or roll over on them and it's over. Like Chrissy in The Sopranos with
Yeah.
the Duchess or whatever her name was. Oops. Accidentally got high and squished the dog to death. Thank God dogs are so receptive to apologies. Well, they don't like, they definitely learn. Like, I've worked with dogs that were abused, and you have to earn their trust. So, dogs definitely have a thing, like a capacity for non forgiveness, but they have to be pushed to the absolute max to get there. Like, dogs are just trusting and forgiving as a nature, and you really have to abuse that to get them to be mean. And really all that is just them being scared of you because people like, well, people that look like you have hurt them. Like there was a dog at the place I used to volunteer at back in the day that I couldn't work with him because he would just not be around men because a man had just abused him to shit. And so I could not work with the guy. He just would not have me near him, you know. This is very sad.
You would have had to go and like shave your beard off and grow your hair out.
Even then, it was the voice. He just knows. Like dogs can sense maleness and shit. Like it was my size that got him, I think. I can't do anything about that, you know. But Dinor is the opposite of that. Dinor, to a fault almost, will just run up. I've told you guys before, if Freddy Krueger stepped into this backyard in the middle of a ideology to kill me, Dinor would run up to him and try and get pet. If you're a human being, Dinor is all over you. He don't matter. He don't care. He barks at people like he's got a problem with it, but it's really just him wanting them to come in and love on him for an hour.
He was loving on the handyman the other day.
Yeah.
And to say hi.
Well, Uncle Zeke comes over. He just
Yeah.
won't leave him alone. When we take him to Grandma's, he's all over everybody. He can't be in. He tries to be in like 9 laps at once.
Mm-hmm. And then he gets all exhausted when he gets home.
Yeah. Spent all his energies. Sign of good parenting. I mean, I don't know. He's a little unruly. He gets a little much sometimes. Mm-hmm. We never really trained him not to jump up because I always think it's so cute when he does.
And you thought he was going to be a little
And I thought he was going to be tiny.
I just won't be a tater tot, and he ended up being a steak fry. Or a baked potato.
True. Very true. Alright, I think I'm done. It's kind of warm out here, unfortunately, today. I'm not ready for this warmness. I'll see you guys next time.